There you go.
Evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hiya. Well, as you can see, we're down to just the two of us. Carl is here, but he's having internet issues, so he's more monitoring rather than anything else. So, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first, Joe?
Go ahead. This is just the two of us.
Well, I picked Selkies because I knew that at least one other person was going to be doing the Skinwalker side. So I'm going to throw my pictures in, and Carl, if you're listening, you can pick up in as many of these pickies as you want to. See if
Selkies are pretty sad, though, aren't they?
Well, that's partly why I wanted to do them, because a lot of the other shapeshifters and things are very predatory and very nasty.
Mm-hmm.
So because Carl's not able to be in stream, we are just going to get pictures as and when. So the Selkies they're not half human, half seal. It's like when they come out, when you see the seals coming out to bask, if you've ever lived near a coast, you will have seen it somewhere in the world.
Oh, yeah.
The seals come out to bask in the sun. When they come out to bask, it's believed they can take their skin off, like this lady is doing here. And when they remove their seal skin, they become human. Now, the female Selkie tends to be, most of the stories about the female Selkie are lonely fishermen stealing their skin, because the Selkie can't return to the ocean without their seal skin. And there's all sorts of different legends as to whether they can be back as a seal and then come back to land a year later, or 7 years later, or 7 full moons later. It depends where you are as to what, but 7 is definitely a recurring number with them. Now, the Selkies, the females are persuaded to become the brides of these lonely fishermen, basically because they steal their skins and they hide them from them. Evening, Perry. And they don't have such fun as the male Selkie. Now, this is the male Selkie. The male Selkie, they come out, they all have dark hair and dark eyes. The male Selkie is usually rather tall, lean, muscular, and very desirable. And by God, does he know he's very desirable. And he focuses on unsatisfied women. So whether you're a fisherman's wife and you're bored out your skull because he spends more time on the boat than he does with you, and the male Selkie will come and fulfill your wishes, to put it politely. But it's only a one-night stand. However, if you fall for your male Selkie, if you shed 7 tears into the ocean during a full moon, and only 7, you will summon your Selkie back to you. Now, ever since I read that this morning, I can't get that stupid 1980s song out my head, 7 tears are flowing in the river. But hey-ho. So, looking up, once the Selkies return to the sea, it will be 7 years, 7 full moons, or various different denominations before it can come back. One potential that seems to run through all of them is, evening everybody, evening Cole. One possibility is they saw the Sami people. Now, I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but it's Saami. The Selkie legend tends to be around the northern parts of the British Isles. Sorry, Perry. Tend to be about around the British Isles, Iceland, Ireland, Norway, Sweden. Basically, it's round the North Sea, pretty much, and goes across to the Faroe Islands. However, I have come across some reported in New Zealand. So now I'm no very good with the wildlife of New Zealand, but I would presume if they've got some kind of Selkie legend, they've got some kind of seal. So the presumption of the origins is seeing people coming from other countries in sealskin clothing, in whalebone and sealskin boats. Once the sealskin gets soaked through, it has to be dried out for a certain amount of hours, days, whatever, or the boat will not float anymore. And again, it won't protect you from the cold and the wet anymore. So they're coming into land, they're pulling their sealskin boats out of the water, they're stripping off their sealskin clothes so it's all getting dried out, and then you're left with this naked person. And I kind of agree that that is probably where these legends started with, especially because if these are people coming across from different countries, they're not going to understand what each other's saying. So there's going to be this mysterious people coming dressed in furs and looks like sealskin, and then they take it off and miraculously they're a person. So
that's pretty cool.
I thought it was the one that seemed to fit best with me. I'm just trying to find some of the helpful bits I came across. Where was the short one? There was a short one and there was a long one. One of the most usual Selkie story is the female Selkie does eventually fall for the fisherman who's hiding her coat, her sealskin, and they have kids, and things are good, and she loves them, and she loves their kids. And then my favorite version, the youngest daughter was fell in love with a male Selkie, and the mother was trying to explain to her, it's like, look, if you go with him, you have to be with him forever, or he has to be with you forever. You can't pop across for a visit, sort of thing. And the daughter got suspicious as to why does mum know so much about this. And the daughter was haking about the house, having a look to see what she could find out, because she got suspicious of her mum. And she found the key to her dad's old fishing chest. And she found the Selkie coat. And she put it on. And her mother's like, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. It's not right. And she persuaded her to take it off. And she took it off. And the mother took it and went back to the ocean. And none of them saw her again. But what she did find is when the moon was full and the seals gathered like they usually do, there was one seal in particular would follow the daughter up and down the beach as she was walking along the beach waiting for her Selkie lover to come back. So her mum was watching from the water, and she could never come back as a human because she had outstayed over the time that you're supposed to stay. So that's one of my favourite Selkie stories. But yeah, the Selkie males seem to have it all. And the Selkie female seems to be kind of held prisoner. It's almost like a domestic abuse thing. It's like, you can't go back home because I'm hiding your coat. But there's all sorts of wonderful images and stuff. There is an amazing sculpture that is over in the Faroe Islands about one of the most famous silkies. So And the sculpture is actually the lady stepping out of her sealskin. So that's actually on the coast at the Faroe Islands. And it is that word, the word with all the K's in it, Kikeno. There is a place it's a place name very similar to that Kikeno fur seal. So, and that's where the sculpture actually is. And I think it's a beautiful sculpture. And it's one of these when the tide's really high, like you get your spring tides when the water's a lot higher than it normally is. It does come and lap around her feet and makes it much more atmospheric. So I think that's brilliant. Now I'm going to see if I can find one of the little mini stories. There we go. Popular belief states that once a Selkie is returned to the sea, it will be 7 years before he or she is seen again. Like other half-human, half-animal supernatural creatures, they seem to struggle with their dual identities. The sea identity always predominates, and given the opportunity, they will always return to their animal form. The only negative trope about Selkies in their animal forms is that they are dangerous to pregnant women, apparently. And an encounter with them may lead to the child having scaly skin, webbed hands and feet, or seal-like flippers for limbs. This fits in with the well-recognised tradition of using supernatural creatures to explain birth defects that can now be rationalised through medical knowledge. A good example of one of the Selkie stories is from Clan MacCaldrum of Uist, which is out in the Hebrides. It tells of a union between the founder of a clan and the shape-shifting seal woman. The Macroons, which means sons of the seal, are very proud of their Focine origins. There is no shame in a Selkie ancestor. There is an Orcadian ballad, which no, I'm not going to sing to you, and it's called The Great Selkie of Shulskiri, which combines the precognitive abilities of the Selkie with the format making use of the prevalent trope of the Selkie's affinity for song and music. Because that's how most Selkies end up losing their coats, is because they've come to the sand during the full moon for a wee dance and a sing-song, and a human comes across them and nicks their jacket, basically. So, in accordance with the generally benevolent nature, Selkies have the gift of foresight, but do not practice magic or sorcery of any kind. So they can see the future, but cannot change it. This motif is explored in that ballad, which tells the tale of a young maiden who loves a Selkie man. He leaves her shortly after she has a son by him. He later appears to her as a grey seal one night as she rocks her child and asks her to tend the child for a traditional further 12-month and a day. And there's another song bit for you. In some versions, this is the equally formulaic 7 years. After the year is up, he returns with gold and silver for her and takes the boy away. He is compassionate towards the mother, pointing out a skerry where she can visit her son, and in answer to the question of how she will recognise him, says that the one who wears a chain of goud among the Selkies shall be he. In other words, the only one that's wearing a gold chain in amongst the Selkies, the one that's wearing the gold chain will be him. He then prophesies that she will marry a hunter whose first shots will kill both himself and his son. In some versions, this actually comes to pass, and the heartbroken mother knows what has happened to her child when her new husband gives her a gift of the gold chain from his neck. The intrinsic duality of the Selkie is encapsulated in the balladic refrain. I am a man upon the land, I am a Selkie on the sea, and when I'm far frae every strand, I'm dwelling in Shulskeri. But yeah, Shulskeri is a fundamentally liminal place It's a rock far from land, regularly washed and covered by the sea. So it's neither here nor there all the time. It says that they are a continual presence in our lives in Scotland, quite often popping up in songs and things. There's a good few movies about them as well. There's one where a lady that they didn't realize she was a Selkie at first is pulled into a dance by someone. And after the first verse or two, she freed herself from his embrace and sitting up listened gravely to the song. Then she asked him, "Shall I ever understand? It's not a unique occurrence," he told her. "It has happened quite often before, as I suppose you know. The one thing that's unique in our case is my metamorphosis is that I am the only sealman who has ever become a Master of Arts at Edinburgh University, or, I believe, of any other university. I am the unique and solitary example of a sophisticated sealman." And there's all sorts of random silly things like that. So yeah, lots of stories where they're mixing them up with mermaids, the lonely fisherman that's not got another half. There is this one, Donald the Seal Hunter. This is a story for John O'Groats. Donald was a seal hunter who had no time for old legends. One day he stabbed a huge seal lying on the rocks, but the animal managed to flee into the water with his knife still lodged in its side. That night, a tall stranger invited him to a great hall, claiming his master wanted to see him. The stranger led Donald's horse at a gallop into the sea. To Donald's terror, they plunged beneath the waves, reaching an underwater palace where many seals were gathered, mournful and silent. In the centre lay the great seal he had wounded, none other than the Selkie king. The stranger revealed Donald's lost knife, but instead of punishing him, the Selkies asked him to use his hands. "For only your hands that caused the wound can heal the wound." Donald pressed his palms over the gash, and it sealed up before his very eyes. The Selkies spared him his life, but only on the condition that he swore never to harm another seal in his entire life. Then I have another image I want to put in, which is a Selkie's grave. Now, you see how there's a wee pot in the middle? There's like a wee indent. No matter what the weather is and no matter what the time of year, if you put your hand in that little indent, it's always wet. Now, the story behind it is near Castleton in Caithness, there's a grave known as the Selkie's grave. The story tells of a fisherman who found a baby girl wrapped in sealskin on the shore one night. He and his wife had no children. They raised her as their own. As she grew up, people whispered that she was not like the other children. She had the second sight. And at one point, she claimed to see the devil hiding in the rafters of the church. That led to her being banned from the church, and her entire family was no longer welcome at the church. Despite this, she did later get married. So somebody was obviously able to see past the rumour mill. But tragically, she died in childbirth. She was buried in Old Alrig Kirk at Castleton, and her grave is still there. The stone has a hollow that never dries. and visitors often leave small gifts from the sea to keep alive the connection to her Selkie origins. There's lots of other stories. One last one I'm going to leave you with on this one, because that's nearly 20 minutes. The Selkie and the Otter King. Now, most of us will have heard of Eileen Donnan Castle, the one that's on the biscuit tins, that's on an island.
Mm-hmm.
That one is Eileen Donnan. I should have downloaded an image for that one, but I forgot.
They filmed part of Highlander there, first one.
Yeah, on the bridge. Yeah. A young Selkie girl lived in a cave on an island, often seen fishing or sometimes in human form. The local fishermen respected her, leaving her gifts of fish, which she kindly shared with a family of otters that also lived on the island. She became known as Eileen, which means island, and the community adored her. One day, a greedy stranger arrived, hoping to capture her and make money by displaying her. When the locals refused to help, he tricked them by pretending to leave. He then stole her sealskin, threatening to return the next day to place a halter on her and take her away. That night, the Selkie wept bitterly, certain that she was going to lose her freedom. Her cries reached the otters that she used to feed. Their leader, the wise Otter King, gathered 7 of his attendants. At dawn, when the stranger returned, he tried to cross the stepping stones to the island, but in truth, the stepping stones were actually the Otter King and his followers. They rose up, snatched the sealskin from him, and returned it to the Selkie girl. The man fled in terror, chased by the otters, never to be seen again. From then on, the island became known as Eileen Donnan, Island of the Otter. The Otter King was buried there, and people say his descendants still share the waters with the seals, and sometimes still with the Selkies. You can regularly get pictures of otters if you're visiting Eileen Donnan, and I will leave your Selkie story there.
Awesome.
It's actually let me join for a few minutes. How long it's going to keep me in, I don't know. But apparently my whole estate is having problems. Anyone on my estate with BT is having problems. So
not good.
My particular hub went down 97 times yesterday.
That's really bad.
So they had people out today. They've said yes, there's definitely a problem, but they can't figure out what it is yet. So it looks like they're going to be working on New Year's Day as well. So
yeah,
I'm glad I did join, because one, I'm assuming it was Joe that posted, and I love this one because Giorgio and all of that uses on quite a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's this one.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, all right, here we go. We're going to talk about skinwalkers, but remember, it's kind of, the skinwalker is a real thing to the Dene, the Navajo. It's a real thing. It's not some made-up story or anything like that. It's part of their spirituality, part of their being. So I'm going to try to be as sensitive as I possibly can, but tell you the story and what's going on with it. But skinwalkers, known in Navajo, the Dene, as Yi Nallushi. I'm sure I'm killing that pronunciation. But it means, by means of it, it goes on all fours. That's what that is. So it's describing by means of the skin that they're putting on, they can go on all fours, they can change and run and do their thing. It's a type of harmful witch in Navajo legend. They're humans who have gained supernatural powers through dark, taboo rituals, often involving the murder of a close family member. To become a malevolent shapeshifter, unlike benevolent medicine people or healers, skinwalkers represent the antithesis of Navajo cultural values. So basically, you've got the good and the bad, you've got your healers, you've got your medicine people, you've got all that stuff going on, and then you have these witches who have gone off and killed a close family member, a brother, sister, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, something like that, something close. And they've done that and they've gone through the witch ritual. And now they use their abilities for evil, causing harm, sickness, death, misfortune, whatever they want to do. This is deeply embedded in Navajo tradition. It's rarely discussed openly with outsiders due to cultural taboos. Speaking about them too freely is believed to attract their attention or invite danger. So same thing like with us and demons and things like that. Sit around talking about it and it drags them in. So now, how does one become a skinwalker and where do they come from? Roots in Navajo witchcraft is basically the whole thing. Skinwalkers are one variety of Navajo witches. The power comes from the witchery way, which is one of their ways of tradition that they have. And it is a forbidden path of sorcery. To gain the abilities, a person must commit extreme taboos, such as killing a sibling or a relative. Some accounts mention secret societies or rituals involving corpse powder made from ground bones. I haven't found anything really having to do with that, except the extreme taboos. There are a few of those. Some historical context. Beliefs intensified during times of hardship, like the Long Walk in the 1860s, the forced relocation of the Dene, or in 1878, the Navajo Witch Purge, where suspected witches were executed amid social strife. So in times of hardship, bad times going on, there seems to be a lot more skinwalkers running around doing things. Could they be the cause of it? Who knows? Similar shapeshifter legends exist in other tribes, the Hopi, Apache, Ute, etc. But the Navajo version, the Dene version, is distinct in its emphasis on malevolent human beings. Mostly male, by the way. Okay, powers and characteristics. Skinwalkers are feared for their versatility and elusiveness. They can transform into animals, mostly coyotes, wolves, foxes, bears, owls, or crows, and other ones, by wearing the animal's skin or pelt. In animal form, they may walk unnaturally, e.g. on hind legs, or have glowing eyes that don't reflect light normally. They can mimic voices, either human or animal, to lure victims, cause illness, madness, death via curses, poisons, or glances. Superhuman speed, stealth, and strength. They got that all. Possesses bodies or steals faces and souls. What's that, Carl?
This is this one image you've chosen here is got to be the one that I've seen the most used on TV.
I like how Kerry says Bruce Forsyth because the face does look like an early Bruce Forsyth mask.
yeah, that's it.
The only trouble is I know 100% that this is a fake.
Yeah.
I brought it up because it gives an idea.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because there's all sorts of different scary images given for these characters.
Yeah.
And most folk can't put some of the descriptions together, so that's just an idea of some of the weird and wonderful descriptions.
There's 4 other pictures up here.
I'm not sure. I can't say specifically who did it because I don't know. But I know people like Giorgio and that of the Ancient Alien lot, and I think it's actually been used on Skinwalker Ranch. Have used this image as a real image for a Skinwalker. But it's actually a decolorized still from a 1982 horror film.
Yeah. But it gives an idea of what a skinwalker might look like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they look like that, but it might. There's 4 other pictures I put up there that give other ideas of what they could be.
Now that one, this one I've seen many times. I think that one is actually really cool. I think that one looks fantastic.
I think that fits some of the earliest descriptions from the tribal peoples.
Yes.
But then again, I've seen this one. I've seen this one used for Wendigo as well.
Yeah, exactly. I brought that up just for that point. There's different ideas. And Wendigo is nothing like a skinwalker. Completely, totally different creature, different being completely. So it's kind of interesting how they would use the same thing. But then again, it's those Howleys that are going in and saying, "Yeah, I think that's a skinwalker," something like that.
Or is
And
that like a Western of thought, oh well, it sounds similar, so we'll just depict it. Oh, I've seen that image in a book and it looks really good, so I'll use that sort of thing.
exactly,
Design
because
white
supposedly a Wendigo has horns. I don't know why a Wendigo would have horns based on how they're created, but okay, this one's got horns and it could be a Wendigo. Doesn't look cold enough though.
Yeah, because isn't the Wendigo it can never get warm and it can never sate its appetite.
And it's a person.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, isn't it supposed to be a person whose heart's been broken too many times or something stupid like that?
Exactly. And they're starving. They can't get enough food. They can't get enough of that. So they've been turned into a Wendigo by curse or whatever, depending on what thing you believe.
Yeah, because one of the TV shows I used to watch did an episode about them, and they effectively had a girl turn into a Wendigo, and she was pretty much dressed. Pretty much, it looked like a half human, half Yeti thing dressed as a banshee. So,
why not?
And also, unlike with skinwalkers, Wendigo is a recognised mental health condition as well nowadays.
True.
Is it Wendigo psychosis or something it's called?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. I didn't research because they're not supposedly in our stuff here, in our topic tonight. But there's so many different creatures out there, so many different things going on, and this is one of them.
I've just noticed on the camera my internet is starting to flash red, so I think that's about to cut out. I'll watch with it.
Yeah, I see the red flash now. Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
Bloody thing. Okay, I'll jump in and out as I can.
Okay, but signs of a skinwalker: strange noises, knocking, whispers, animal cries, mimicking speech, glowing or animal-like eyes in human form. Taboo against wearing predatory animal pelts in Navajo culture stems from this kind of stuff. It's like you can't wear that stuff because it might lead to a little bit of skinwalkering. I've got some pictures here and I've already put them up. Encounters and modern stories. Some of these are, in quotes, real. Some of them were picked up off of Reddit, TikTok, etc., etc. So, yeah, grain of salt. They're saying that some of these encounters, strange animals behaving unnaturally, like oversized wolves being unfazed by bullets, etc. Well, a witch, a bad witch, might be able to do that. Might be able to be unfazed by bullets. Have no idea. Voices calling names in isolated areas. It reminds me a lot of, and it's not the same area, but going to the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia. No, I think came from south of there originally, and then they did a long walk out west. But I'm not sure. I don't remember anymore. But the Appalachian Mountains, there are times when you'd be outside in the woods. My mom's from Bluefield, West Virginia, so I have heard a lot of stories like this from people in the family. When you're out in the woods and you start hearing names being called and help, and all this, you don't answer it. You just sort of like go about your business and get back home as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Never whistle in the woods, never sing, do that kind of stuff because of these creatures who may be able to come out. There, of course, no scientific.
The version I saw on one of the videos, one of the YouTubers that I watch is, you hear your friend's voice. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Hear your name. No, you didn't. You hear a whistle. No, you didn't. Just keep walking.
Just go. Get home as soon as you can. Get inside, close the curtains, and get about your life. Yeah. So here's everybody's favorite subject, Skinwalker Ranch. Legend gained massive pop culture traction through the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah's Uinta Basin, a 512-acre property famous for paranormal claims since the 90s. You'd think if Skinwalkers were really involved, it'd be a lot more than just from the 90s. A lot longer than then.
I think your Freudian slip of transaction rather than attraction was perfectly accurate.
Thank you. It was unplanned, but it's there. Freudian all the way. So they see UFOs out there, UAPs, crop circles, cattle mutilation orbs, portals, cryptid sightings, wolf-like creatures linked to Skinwalker lore, etc. So there's a lot of stuff going on at that ranch. It was bought by the Sherman family in 1994. They reported terrifying events and sold it in 1996 to Robert Bigelow, later owned by Brandon Fuel, featured in the History Channel's The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. I've seen that a couple of times, seen a couple of episodes. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the first sets of episodes of that because my brother was hooked on it. And suffice to say, I fell asleep within 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's I mean, I found some of the episodes interesting in that, they were talking about this landscape over here, you hear this going on, and this over here, you can hear that. Now, I wonder what it is about the property, the 512 acres there, that attracts all of this different stuff. And why is it only since the 1990s? Maybe it's only been reported since then, and it's been happening for, years. Many, many more years before that. But I don't know.
It's like this area when there were new footprints discovered, fossilized footprints from pre-dinosaur reptiles. And it's like, oh, fantastic, amazing new discoveries. Yeah, it's so fantastic and amazingly new that I know three houses that were built in the 1800s that have these footprints on the fireplace. It's just everybody knew about it, but nobody officially reported it.
Exactly. And
these things happened, especially out in the middle of nowhere. Everybody knows about it, but nobody thinks to say, do the authorities know?
Right. I've never been to Skinwalker Ranch, and I've never walked around, and I've never investigated there, so I can't tell you if it's real or not. I just have to go by since the 1990s. DNA. It's been going a whole lot longer than that.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten I left this part in. Carl brought up Wendigos. A Wendigo is a cannibalistic spirit monster born from greed or survival cannibalism. Tall, emaciated, antlered. I wonder why antlered. Insatiable hunger, not a voluntary shapeshifter, a more cursed entity than a witch. That's your Wendigo. General shapeshifters and werewolves, the versus part, skinwalkers choose evil for power. Werewolves are often cursed or involuntary. Skinwalkers retain their human intelligence and malice. Where supposedly a werewolf, when they pop in and they get it, they're a wolf and they're going to go out and whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
There's very little of the human intelligence there. Skinwalkers keep it all. So those are differences between those things. Skinwalker stories. We know that they're a witch, an evil witch who commits unspeakable acts for power. Mimic voices. A recurring legend involves healers who have gone corrupt. Once respected medicine people who turned evil, donning animal pelts to shapeshift and curse communities with illness or death. There's just so much different stuff going on here with
Yeah.
it. One of the stories, A Bulletproof Wolf, I brought that up a little bit ago, often tied with the early Skinwalker Ranch lore, but echoed in personal tales. A family or hunter encounters a massive wolf that approaches unnaturally calm. They shoot it point blank multiple times, no blood, no reaction, just stares with human-like intelligence before vanishing. The mimic voice in the desert, a common theme here. A hitchhiker or driver hears their name called in a familiar voice, like a mom's voice or your friend's voice from the darkness. They follow it only to see a distorted figure or animal fleeing on all fours.
Yeah.
A Reddit user described camping when a deer stood on hind legs and spoke in a human voice before dashing away. That would be interesting. A knocking visitor. Somebody who wakes to knocking at their window, seeing a humanoid figure that smells like decay. When confronted, it mimics laughter or curses before disappearing. And a roadside lure. This is the last of the examples here. Roadside lurer. What somebody lures you from the roadside. On a southwest highway at night, a stranded person waits for help. But as you slow down, their limbs elongate, or they sprint impossibly fast into the brush. Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of the hitchhikers that disappear kind of thing. I mean, I know we're straying off topic, but hey, what's new? And all sorts of the only thing I can think of for the Wendigo having antlers is maybe it's just a misheard, mistranslated version of a skinwalker.
Yeah, could be.
White man's coming. There's that big thing with antlers on. We hunt that for food. So that might make the white man get a bit closer to this thing with antlers and then go, OMG, or words to that effect, and try and run away.
Yeah.
So
very true.
Because a lot of it where you see the similar things going throughout different tribes, different countries, different areas. It's like how much of it is just misheard, and that's what's made that little bit of difference.
Right. Or you've heard 25 different stories of 30 different things going on out there, and you get them confused.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how a Wendigo would have antlers.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's almost implying, because it's the insatiable appetite and never satisfied, and if you take it to the extent of it's someone that had their heart broken too many times, is that saying that all stags have got heartbreak?
Yeah, exactly.
If anything, stags have got the best of the bunch, because there's one stag to 15 females usually, and he is da boy. So he wouldn't be unsatisfied.
Yeah. Then you've got all this different stuff. What other shapeshifters do we have besides the Wendigo and the Selkies and the?
Well,
anybody come up off the top of your head?
Your werewolf and vampire stuff, but I came up with some other stuff.
You remember the vampires only turn into bats and stuff like that because of Hollywood. There's really never a story of vampires turning into anything else until Hollywood got hold of it.
The only thing I found is one story. I don't know if it's Bram Stoker's or if it was an old folk story where it turned into, the vampire himself turned into mist so he could get out of a room. It didn't turn into bats, he turned into mist so he could seep under the door and escape.
Yeah.
So,
or did he just create mist in some way and run through the door so he can escape?
Yeah, that's it.
Once again, what do you got? What are you going to believe? What have you heard?
Yeah. Well, others that have come up for me on the Scottish one is the Kelpie, which we already kind of covered in our Yetis and things one.
Carl just left a message here. He says, just look the antler thing. It's a modern interpretation, and antlers never used in the original depiction of the Wendigo.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if in that case it was just little Diddy, and of course it's been
It's hair.
exaggerated.
I mean, the
Yeah.
person is very cold. You
Mm-hmm.
know, in
And
that kind
but
of stuff, your hair was
if
wet and
you've
now
got
it's
hair
sticking
like
up.
mine and you're running through the woodies, you're going to have bits of trees stuck in it and God knows what else.
Exactly. Exactly. And me without hair, I would never have horns like that.
So
It's
yeah,
just,
it comes up with the Kelpie, which we already covered on another show. You
yeah.
have the handsome man or seductive woman or black horse, white horse, and yeah. So a lot of the Scottish shapeshifters seem to be heavily involved in sex. I think this speaks a lot to the men being out on the fishing boats and the women are sitting at home getting frustrated.
I just brought up a list of. I just did a Google search on a list of shapeshifters, and it comes up, and the first thing in the list is a berserker.
I thought of that one, but I wasn't sure because I think that's more of a mentality shift
That's what
than
I was
actual.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
because it's
you're
they
sitting there, you get yourself
hopped up
so
on
worked up.
mushrooms and everything, and they have like it's not a uniform, but they had a separate outfit that was only used when they were going to be doing that, and they were hopped up on the mushrooms. So yeah,
Okay.
the name's just making me laugh. A boobry. So you can either say it's a boob re or boo as in Casper and brie the cheese. The form is a large water bird like a cormorant or a water horse. And it just shows a generally harmful creature found on the west coast of Scotland, known for preying on livestock of others. And it's funny. I'm just going to bring this one up. It literally looks like halfway between a penguin and a puffin. So they've got a bird showing as a great auk, which may be the source of descriptions for the boobry. A mythological shapeshifting entity inhabiting the lochs of the west coast of Scotland commonly adopts the appearance of a gigantic water bird resembling a cormorant or great northern diver, but it can also materialize in the form of various other mythological creatures, such as a water bull. A generally malevolent entity, the boobry typically preys on livestock being transported on ships, but is also fond of otters, of which it consumes a considerable number. In its manifestation as a water horse, the creature is able to gallop across the top of lochs as if on solid ground. During the summer months, it is seen frequently as a large insect sucking the blood of horses. I've never heard of this one until today.
No.
Folklorist from Islay has speculated that descriptions may be based on sightings of the great auk. The bellowing sound made by the boobry is more like a bull than a bird, may have its origin in the strange call of the common bittern, which is a rare visitor to Scotland. So it seems that one's just misidentification. But apparently it prefers calves, but will also happily eat lambs and sheep, carrying its prey away to the deepest water before consuming it. Extremely fond of otters that it consumes in large quantities. But let me find this silly picture again, because the picture is generally just a bird. Save. And come back in. But this bird is what they reckon is the inspiration for what it is. It's a great auk, AUK. So, which, yeah, it does sound like a lot of it is misidentification to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just found the etymology on berserker. An Old Norse form of the word was berserker, Berserkr. Berserkir is the plural, a compound word for bear, Ber, and circer. The second part, circer, means shirt, also found in Middle English, cirque. But the first part, ber,
Thank you.
Ber, on the other hand, can mean several things, but it's assumed to have most likely meant bear, with the full word berserker meaning just bear shirt, as in someone who wears a coat made out of bear skin.
Yeah.
Then, in the 13th century, a historian named Snorri Sturluson, I love that name, Snorri, that is so cool, an Icelander who lived around 200 years after berserkers were outlawed in Iceland. In 1015, they were outlawed. On the other hand, the interpretation from Snorri says that bear shirt means to say the warriors went into battle without armor, but those views have been largely abandoned due to the contradicting and lack of supporting evidence. So it's either wearing a shirt of a bear skin or going without a shirt.
Yeah.
If there was more evidence on it.
Yeah, because when you read some of the Orkney Inga sagas, it's like they had a particular whatever that went on the top half that they only used when they were required to be the berserker.
Right.
So
I've got Erchitu, Idrak, Nagal, Maui, Nanue, which is Shark Man of Hawaiian legend, Nereus, Puka, Skinwalker, Wendigo, Werecat, Weredog, Werehyena, Werejaguar, Weretiger, Werewolf. All of them are over there.
wow.
Weretiger, Werewolf. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Then you got animals turning into humans. You know, your back, your boto, your selkie, like you mentioned.
I like the Wolvar. The Wolvar is a story from Shetland where it's not a werewolf, it's a man shape with a wolf's head. And in times of famine and shortage, these creatures would bring food, most likely fish, put it on the windowsills of the houses of the families that didn't have any food.
That's cool.
And I thought this was so cool. I mean, I couldn't find anything that was bad about it. And it's like, okay. And then you've got the puka, the versatile shapeshifter, can take many forms, horse, goat, or eagle.
Right.
But I thought the Wolver was quite cool. I mean, because most of these shapeshifters are quite malevolent and all out for themselves, be it greed, hunger, or they literally have switched to animal mind. But the Selkie and the Wolver seem to be almost kind of helping folk. And that's why I like them ones as well.
Yeah, it's always good. How about Spring-Heeled Jack?
I like that story, but I've never found a explanation as to that I believe. So I still have to put that under the paranormal because the footsteps covered hundreds of miles.
Exactly.
Basically, it was. Some say it was human footsteps. Some say it was hoofs. And these tracks were found in the snow one morning throughout England, and they covered hundreds of miles, taken, if you followed the path of the footsteps, up onto the roof of buildings that it was passing, and without even breaking stride. Yeah. And it's like, what is this? And then it was linked to some murders in London that was supposed to be a Spring-Heeled Jack as well. And I'm not talking about Jack the Ripper because it's a long time before Jack the Ripper. And apparently this Spring-Heeled Jack, when he was challenged by a man or a police officer, he would spout blue flame in their faces and spring away, jumping over massive distances, like Spider-Man, Superman, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's
Here's
like,
a description.
how do these two get together?
Yeah, I've got a description here in this article. Spring Hill Jack was described by people who claim to have seen him as having a terrifying and frightful appearance with diabolical what is that word?
Physiognomy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really tired today.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Clawed hands, eyes that resembled red balls of fire. One report claimed that beneath a black coat, he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting white garment like an oilskin. Many stories also mention a devil-like aspect. Others say he was tall and thin with the appearance of a gentleman. Several reports mention that he could breathe out blue and white flames and that he wore sharp metallic claws at his fingertips. At least 2 people claim that he was able to speak comprehensible English.
Yeah.
So that's the description. But it always interested me. Spring Hill Jack is considered to be a shapeshifter.
It's Iron Man. Somebody invented a time machine for Iron Man to go back and test out his toys back in the day.
That's pretty cool.
It's the only thing that makes any sense. But yeah, I heard about Spring Hill Jack when I was about 12.
Yeah, I remember hearing of him when I was young, and
Batman.
yeah, and I went, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Midlands, London, all in England, Midlands and London, and a couple other little places. But
Yeah. Yeah, because some bits were not far away from the Welsh border, and it's like, hang on a minute, that's a hell of a distance to cover at that time period.
True, but if you got Spring Hills, I guess you can do anything you want. And jump as high as you want too.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back with another Scottish one. The washerwoman, sometimes known as the little washer by the ford, or Bean Neig. It's a death omen found by streams washing the bloodied clothes of those who are about to die. Often depicted as an old hag, she's known to shift her appearance. So if you are, shall we say, slightly younger gentleman walking through the wilds of middle of nowhere in Scotland, you might come across a beautiful young woman apparently doing her washing in a stream. And it looks like she's washing blood out of the clothes. But as you approach, she ages and ages and ages. When she looks up at you and you're within 6 feet, if she is still the old hag, someone you know is going to die in the next 6 weeks. If her face changes to resemble you, you are going to die in the next 6 weeks. So, but she's also seen as a positive influence as well. When she's the little washer by the ford, when she's the good looking one, she's, if you're a lady who's been trying to get pregnant, because she's washing the blood out of the clothing, it's like all the badness has been washed away and this pregnancy is going to be successful. So it's one of those, it changes depending where in Scotland you are. So, but there's all sorts of random, and it's purely only that she changes from an old lady to a young lady or vice versa. The cat she is a large black cat with a white spot on its chest. Folklore suggests...
I saw one of those today.
Oh, nice.
It was bigger than a normal black cat.
Yeah.
And had a white spot on his chest.
Nice. Well, these are allegedly witches who can transform into a cat 9 times. If they transform into a cat on the 10th time, they're stuck as a cat forevermore. But they're not, it doesn't say whether they're good or bad or whatever. It's just like she changed into a cat one too many times and now she's stuck as a cat. So
It'd be nice if they were helpful.
it would
You
be good
know,
if they were helpful. There's a bit of me that thinks maybe that's where we get the idea that cats have 9 lives.
yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a black cat. This cat I saw earlier ran in front of me today twice, 2 different times, same cat.
Mm-hmm.
Ran across the road going one direction as I was going by, and ran across the road going the other direction as I came back. And I mean, it was big. It was like
Yeah.
one of those big behemoth cats.
Yeah.
And but it's got a white spot. So I went, oh, black cat crossing the road, not a big deal. This one's got a white spot. And now you tell me that these these are shapeshifters. Yeah.
It could also explain why cats are associated as being familiars.
True.
Because maybe
I
it
can see
became a
that.
familiar because it used to be a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Could have been done that.
Yeah.
Gosh. Lots and lots and lots of different stuff.
And we have what else have I got? Beovanshi instead of Banshee, Beovanshi. A beautiful female vampire found in the Highlands who seduces men and attacks them with sharp fingernails rather than fangs.
Huh.
Some legends claim she can shapeshift into a wolf. The most dangerous version of the Kelpie, which I am no apologies to any Gaelic speakers. I know I'm about to mangle this completely. It looks like Aisha Uske. Now, I know the second word is water because it's the same word they use for whiskey. It's a more dangerous version of the Kelpie found in sea lochs and fresh water. While the Kelpie often hunts in rivers, this one is associated with deeper bodies of water. Shifts into a handsome man, a water dragon, a horse, or a large bird. Doesn't tell me anything much about it, though.
Modern day shapeshifters in fiction. You've got Beast Boy from when Robin gets together with Beast Boy and a bunch of those. I don't even remember the name of it. I've only seen it a couple of times, but that's pretty cool. And then I remember when my son was younger, he used to watch Ben 10 on TV, the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Ben Tennyson is considered a shapeshifter because when he pops that watch, he'll change into whatever alien is set up to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Titans.
Yeah, Teen Titans. Thank you. I had a hard time remembering that one, but yeah, that's some pretty good stuff. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, shapeshifter. Yeah, quite interesting. Cosmo and Wanda from the fairy godparents, I think is what that was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cosmo and Wanda, they change themselves into all sorts of stuff at different times. So it's interesting how they're keeping that thought going.
Yeah.
Now, a djinn. Interesting.
Yeah, djinns.
Why would a djinn? Well, I mean, other than the fact that it can be whatever it wants to be, but supernatural beings in pre-Islamic or Arabian regions, like humans, they're accountable for their deeds and can be either believers or unbelievers, depending on whether they accept God's guidance. Since jinn are neither innately evil nor innately good, they are acknowledged spirits from other religions and could adapt them during its expansion. Wait a minute. They're supernatural beings in pre-Islamic Arabian religions.
I've been trying for the last 15 minutes to get back in. You saying about the jinns? I saw a thing a long time ago about them. Jinns are muses. Muses are to inspire, and inspire means in spirit. So a jinn just basically means a ghost. But what Joe was saying there about they were neither inherently good or bad, that's exactly the same as what the Christians now call demons originally were depicted as. They were neither good nor bad.
But they're sitting here and they are the jinn, or anglicized version is genie.
Rational again already.
But yeah, genies are like, I love how all these different things in different cultures change and become this story and that story, but it's really based on that story over there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. While I was sitting here watching on my phone, the audio was cracking up a bit and it was freezing a bit. Whether that is actually just at my end because of the internet or if that's in general, I really don't know.
Don't know.
But I just thought I'd let you know.
I found a little bit more on the cat sheet.
Okay.
It's a dog-sized black cat with a splash of white on its chest.
But it's a cat she, and it's a dog-sized creature.
Yeah.
Confused me, lady.
Well, makes a lot of sense.
Well, you could say, I suppose, a Norwegian forest cat size would keep with
Okay. Well, I can live with that.
It's often got its back arch and its hair's all stuck up like a Halloween cat. But Halloween or Samhain is considered this fairy's special time. It is considered a fairy rather than a shapeshifter.
Right.
The cat she on Samhain's Eve, October 31st, the cat she goes from house to house seeking milk or cream. When it finds a saucer left out for it, the fairy will bless all those who live there. Those families who neglect to leave milk out for the cat she will regret it, as the fairy will curse the family and the family's cows will dry up. If that was all to do with this fairy, it'd be considered fairly innocuous. But there's a darker side. The cat she doesn't just show up at Samhain. It often appears when someone in the house has died. Unless the deceased family is vigilant, the cat she will steal the person's soul by walking over the corpse. To protect their deceased relatives, family members keep a watch at the wake on alert for any sign of a black cat. If one shows up in the house, the relatives use music, riddles, catnips, and other devices to keep the cat she away from the corpse. According to some versions of Scottish folklore, the cat she is actually a witch, not a fairy. And the witch can transform herself into a cat and back to human form 9 times. If she tries for a 10th time, she will be stuck in cat form forever. But that said, the Scots Gaelic word for fairy is sidiche. The Scots Gaelic word for witch is banabudsia. Based on that, it seems the cat she originally was a fairy. And there's another one which I hadn't come across today.
That just brings me to mind of that old Stephen King film, Cat's Eyes.
Oh, it's a long time.
You got the troll trying to steal the breath of children. The cat's being blamed. Because I was always told growing up, oh, never let a cat sleep on your chest because they steal your breath when you sleep.
No, they don't.
No.
They don't. As that movie shows you, they beat up the trolls that are trying to steal your breath.
Bye, Carl. I got a couple of videos that I sent off to my brothers just because, I'm always trying to send scary ghosty stuff off to them. Just because it's fun. But 2 or 3 videos of a cat just laying there by a baby on the floor. And the mom was sleeping in the chair, and the cat jumps up and is doing this, trying to get whatever it is away from it. And then after it's gone, it calms down and goes back, lays back down again. But I've seen 2 or 3 of those in the past.
I've seen a couple of them recently as well. And it's like, yeah, he's definitely seeing something.
Yeah.
and whatever it was, he beat it away.
Yeah, I was scared enough for, whatever that needed to do.
I
But
mean,
yeah, the
it's
one
one
in
of
the
the
crib
things that
sleeping
the
next to the baby and
Egyptians.
jumping up.
It's one of the things that the Egyptians said is the cats protect you from spirit.
Exactly. Cats are very protective. And it's been said, of course, for many, many years that, long time, that cats have 1 or maybe 2 feet in, that world and 2 feet in our world. And they're sort of just like, doing their thing.
It's funny because for years I've known there was a spook cat in this house, because I have people come to my house for readings, because a lot of them don't want me to come to their house, because of course if you're doing a Derren Brown experiment, if you go to their house, you've got all the clues there you need. So I get them to come to me instead, so there's no clues. And out of the 100, 200 people that's been through my house in the last 19 years, 9 of them have seen a big fluffy white cat, like the Bond villain cat.
Right.
I heard it, but never seen it. But since I've had little madam here, who's not long awake, but still dozing in the lobby, it's like you're laid in bed and you feel them walk across the bed. They're walking up towards you, walking up alongside your legs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of half sit up to see where they are. Phone you back in a bit, Mum, still on YouTube. And you feel something walking, you feel the cat walking up the bed towards your chest, and you put your hand out to stroke it and realize there's nothing there, and the cat's actually already sitting level with your head on the other side of the bed.
Yeah.
So since I've had her, the cat that I've never seen has made itself more known.
That's good though.
So
I mean, cats are protective anyway. So why not have that extra bit of protection running around?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. But I'm so chuffed that I now notice it more often. And I'm sure it's only because she's like, yeah, it's okay, I'm here. You can come out to play now.
Wow.
So I found another Scots one which I'd never heard of. The Dunny. Now, when I see Dunny, I'm just automatically thinking Australian toilet.
Right, and I think I've heard of this one before, though.
It resembles a Scottish brownie in that it's small, dark-skinned, human-looking fairy. But that's where the similarity ends. Brownies are helpful, non-shape-shifting fairies who do chores around the house while the family's asleep. Dunnies are mischievous shapeshifters who change form to play tricks on the humans of the house. One of the Dunnies' favourite tricks is to change into a horse. And when a human rides him, the Dunny finds the muddiest part of the road and vanishes, leaving the human to fall face first into the muck. So,
okay.
a very random, as I say, I'd never heard of that one before.
Interesting. Here in France, we've got a loup-garou.
Yeah.
Loup-garou, which is basically a werewolf.
Yeah.
Let's see. They list here, French tradition contains many well-known mythical creatures: the loup-garou, werewolf, water spirits, nixies, forest spirits, household entities, and revenants or slash undead.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw one of those in a bar in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
She had really weird hair and was smoking a really long cigarette. Looked like she was from the 2010s or 1910s.
Oh, cool.
But
Anybody in chat had any stories, any good stories for shapeshifters, or any experiences even? Because me being me, I always try and keep it Scottish, but I'm running out of anything that's remote.
Yeah, shapeshifters. I mean, there's only certain shapeshifters worldwide that we know. I mean, I've got a list of them here that do stuff, but I can't pronounce half their names.
Yeah.
Properly, They're small little crazy things in all these in China, Japan, Korea, Cambodia, Thailand, around in there, and some of them look kind of interesting, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Did we have a topic for next week yet?
No.
The kitsune, I didn't actually do any research into that, but I will do a quick 5-minuter.
Well, I've the kitsune. I've read up a little bit, and of course, they're really huge in Japanese anime and manga. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the stronger they are, the more tails they have, things like that. There was one I was just watching a couple of weeks ago on Netflix, and it was a nine-tailed fox, basically a kitsune,
Mm.
fox spirit, and they're described with intelligence and magical or supernatural powers, especially so with long-living foxes. Kitsune exhibit the ability of the bakaru, or transforming its shape and appearance, as well as the ability to bakasu, beguile or bewitch. These terms are related in the generic term bakemono, meaning specter or goblin. Other scholar describes the kitsune as being a disoriented deity, which makes the traveler lose his way. And such capabilities are also ascribed to badgers and occasionally to cats.
Yeah, because the bit I did see was that they have like a. I'd be wrong if I said bear raccoon, but there was something with raccoons connecting with the kitsune on the brief little bit that I had a look at.
Let me see if I can bring that up here. Da, 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 da. Oh, come on. Kitsune.
Tanuki is the Japanese raccoon dog.
Right.
Famous rivals for their shape-shifting abilities and mischievous nature. They share many traits, but they are distinct both in mythology and in reality. Eh? Okay. Tanuki is a distinct canid species native to East Asia. In legends, they are jolly, gullible masters of disguise who use their belly and oversized scrotum as magical tools.
So Carl has a magical tool from what he's been telling us. Oh, Carl. It doesn't bring up anything at all about kitsunes and raccoons.
I've just got Tanuki being the Japanese raccoon dog, and it seems to be more on the real thing rather than anything. But the oversized scrotum is under the folklore, because it gives the folklore version of kitsune depicted as wise or cunning. Kitsune are associated with the Shinto deity Inari. They can grow up to 9 tails as they age and are known for precise, elegant transformations, whereas the tanuki is a distinct canid species native to East Asia. In legends, they are jolly, gullible masters of disguise who use their belly and oversized scrotum as magical tools. In mythology, anyway.
Right. Having 9 tails and an oversized scrotum. How would you get around?
I need a wheelbarrow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh me. The rivalry, the term Kori refers to the pair together, representing their legendary shape-shifting battles to see who can best deceive the humans.
I can see that.
The biological difference in real life, Tanuki Japanese raccoon dog are members of the canid dog family, not procyonids like the North American raccoons. They're unique among dogs for their ability to climb trees and hibernate during winter. North American raccoon distinct animals with bandit mask markings, though they look similar to tanuki. So, and then it goes into Roblox stuff, and I'm just going to skip all that because I know nothing.
You're going to skip the Roblox stuff?
Yeah, Roblox. Grow a garden in the game. Grow a garden. You can grow a raccoon and a kitsune.
My son used to play Roblox all the time. Dad, I need Robux. Can you give me some Robux? I need to buy this stuff. Let's see, can you do the dishes? Can you like take the trash out? Then maybe you can get some Robux. but I'm in the middle of a game. And you're talking to me.
And here is the raccoon dog. This is what they look like. It's definitely more of a dog than a raccoon.
Yeah.
That's the Japanese raccoon dog. Buster Gonads from the Viz comic. Isn't he the one that literally had a wheelchair? A wheelbarrow? So it's effectively a dog with a big belly and can climb trees. You take that for a walk in the woodies and it runs off, you're going to be looking for him for about 3 weeks.
Carl just popped in and said Harry and Kai did 780 quid on Robux in 4 months. Jeez. I don't think I ever let Elliot get that high, but he did some damage for sure. But it's also interesting when Elliot was doing all that stuff, and he plays a lot of these games where you've got all these Japanese characters running around, these mythical Japanese characters. Well, I mean, the tons and tons of comics and mangas and all that kind of stuff. Stuff in there. So he goes in and he and I would be talking about something history-wise, and he'd go, no, that's not how it goes. And he'd tell me something that he picked up in one of these games, or the history in some Roblox game he was playing, a Roblox game he was playing or something. And it's just close enough to be okay, but off enough that you go, no, that's not the story. Yeah. And it was really funny. We did that for years. He'd come in and say, hey, did you know this?
The Vikings TV series, when I first saw it, I took it as fiction. Like Outlander and all the other stuff. And it was about halfway through series 1. And we meet Ethelred and various others. And I'm like, hang on, I know who these people are. Oh my God, they're actually using some real history.
Right. Some real history.
Some. But yeah, and that's what kept me watching it for 5 seasons. But then I didn't have access to watch it the way I was watching it before. And I don't do pay TV. Yeah, I don't do normal TV. I cancel my TV license and all I watch is YouTube.
Yeah. I've got a couple of the streaming services, but YouTube is what I'm on most of the time.
Yeah.
You can find most anything you need there anyway.
That's it. So, I mean, some of these TV series, you start off with, yeah, it's purely fiction, but I'll watch it because I'm interested in the topic. And then you start hearing names that you know for sure are associated with that area in that timeline. It's like, oh, hang on. Now I'm glued to it. I'm not just interested. I'm glued to it because I want to see how much they've got right and how much they got wrong.
Yeah. So yeah. That happens. That happens a lot. Well, just like with my son and I talk, and it's like he's on this track because that's the way it fit in the story that they wrote so that the kids could play games. And I'm like, no, that is nothing like King Arthur. That is nothing. Well, I just use that as an example. But Merlin never did that in any of the stories. What are you talking about? Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is where King Arthur's buried. Yeah, I can name 15 different sites in the UK where he's supposed to be buried.
I mean that plaque at Glastonbury.
Yeah. And
Um,
Arthur's Seat at Edinburgh is one of them.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to say hello.
I climbed up to Arthur's Seat. I never saw any tombstone with his
Yeah.
name on it.
You coming up to say hello?
Hello, madam.
Elsa, Perry wants to say hello. You coming up? Come on in. No, you're just awake. You got your dopey face on. We don't want to be jumping up on top of things because we've still got that way when the cats just woke up and it's like, here.
Mhm. Been sleeping for 22 hours and wonders why everything totally different. So what are we going to do next week? Since Carl's not here, let's come up with something really fun.
I don't know. What are we going to do next week?
Carl says hopefully by next week I'll have my internet back. Makes it so much easier of all of us bouncing things
Yeah.
off each other. Yeah.
It does actually, because we do bounce off each other really well.
Yeah.
What have we got? Well, we already did.
Well, we hadn't done actual witchcraft stuff yet. We were going to do that.
Yeah. I've got
Everybody come up
lots
with
of
some really
stuff
good
I can
spell
dip into for some comical witchy spells that folk can try if they so wish. I am not
If they
taking
so
any
wish.
responsibility. Hello. Come on in. Come out and say hello. Good morning. Come
Oh,
on.
there's Carl.
Hey, there's Carl.
I'm sitting here, keep clicking the button, and for second I get on, it starts flashing red again.
Oh.
It has been fantastic, and I've been trying to keep up with clicking the pictures on as much best as it had let me.
You've done well with the pictures.
Did good.
But it's so much easier because then in between the breaks of people talking, someone else can take over. It makes it a lot easier when there's all of us there.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian, unfortunately, actually, I forgot to ask Ian how his mum's getting on this week. Ian, unfortunately, had a last minute problem thing come up because we wasn't sure whether he was doing this live or not. Tracy went and done some editing, and then she started doing video editing, so she couldn't jump on. You two have done fantastically, though, guys. The next one, which will be the first of 2026. Perry and that have said that it's been okay. Perry said it's been okay his side, but mine it keeps going robotic and freezing because of my internet.
Probably, is with the issues.
It's typical. This would have been the last one. This is the last stream of 2025, and you two have been absolute champions doing this. It's been fantastic, really interesting.
As I said earlier, it's the time of year when the proverbial hits the fan some way or another for a lot of people. If we can keep it going, even if it's just a couple of us, we can keep it going. Because we might be the only communication some people might have over this weekend. So
I think I don't know, I'm not sure what we'll do next week. Joe said something about because it started freezing, but something about witchcraft. I thought we'd done witchcraft.
Yeah. No, we did witches. We did the witch hunts. We did witches. We did this stuff. We never did what is witchcraft and what it is. Now, I mean, it's such a wide, broad subject, depending on who you talk to and what beliefs you get into. And if you think Wicca is decent or you want the old witchcraft, it's such a wide topic.
Linda, no, the Wicca that's used nowadays, a lot of people, Wicca seems to be making a bit of a comeback again. The Wicca that's about nowadays, is that the same as the gardener Wicca? From the 30s? Or is it a new interpretation of it?
A lot of it is basically, some of it came up in the 30s, was officially rebranded 1962 by some dude in America, which is the bit that I keep saying my mum's older than Wicca.
Yeah.
But Wicca has some very old roots, but a lot of the, excuse the terminology, a lot of the newborn baby witches that have just watched too many TV programs and too many movies
That's all frozen.
Like
my
Ghost
head.
Hunter.
are in the brand new Wicca variation where it's all been tweaked and thingied for modern parlance and the world of snowflakes we now live in. Whereas the books that I've got, you're talking about stabbing the shoulder bone.
Because obviously you got to think there's going to be things like Helen Duncan to mention. Helen Duncan.
My pal's great grandma.
You got Gardner. You got Gardner. You've got the Beast himself.
Yeah.
Mr. Crowley. So all interesting. But no, guys, I can't thank you two enough. It's been for doing this. It's been really interesting to listen to. And I want to wish everyone a happy new year. Hopefully it'll be better than 2025.
Happy Hogmanay to everybody. And if we are the only communication you've had with people over the last couple of weeks, reach out to somebody, even if it's just your next door neighbour. You didn't have to sit there on your own. Reach out to somebody.
I have said this a few times in previous posts. If there's anyone with mental health and they are struggling, because I know what it's like to struggle with mental health my whole life. If you're struggling at the moment, there is help out there, and it's not that difficult to find. It's just having the courage to pick up the phone.
And if you feel that you don't want to talk to a stranger like that, you can make first contact with us via the channel, and we can recommend some places near you for phone contact or person-to-person contact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't sit there on your own. Reach out for a wee bit of help. There's always somebody available somewhere.
I'm not going to say who, but I'm hoping a certain friend will watch this, because I had a message from them on Boxing Day. They was that low. They was actually considering taking their own life. I did speak to them for a little while, and then suddenly, like, nothing. So I'm just hoping of hopes, you know.
I would rather sit here and listen to somebody's whole life story than to read an obituary.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
So,
it's been fantastic, guys. Wish you all a happy new year. Hopefully now, you know, your shoulder's a lot better. You can go out. If you're feeling brave enough, you can go out for your Hogmanay, Linda.
I don't think I'm going to go out. I've got a wee stash all lined up on the counter there, seeing as I'm going to be in.
We're going over to some friend's house tomorrow.
I don't have to drive because I don't have to be anywhere. So
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I have got a 3/4 bottle of Southern Comfort that I've had for nearly 6 years now, so I might actually treat myself to one.
I got a bottle of scotch for Christmas.
Ooh. Yeah, we know what happened last time you had scotch, Joe. You fell and hit your head.
Well, that's what I'm supping just now.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Anyway, Perry and Cole, Happy New Year. Anyone else that's watching, Happy New Year. Apologies, like I said. It was all up in the air because my internet's been playing up and I've had everything going manic here. Ian got a last minute thing come up. Tracy had a last minute thing come up. So, unfortunately, we kept us empty, but
as we say up here, long may your long reek and may your targets ne'er roost. Happy Hogmanay, Abdi.
Happy New Year, guys. Take care. Bye.
Slán you are. Bye.